for stopping by. Today we're going to do those ricotta cookies with the lemon glaze that I was telling you about in our last video. So I've got everything pretty much set up. There's another bowl that's hanging out. The butter is getting soft, but I wanted to get the flour ready. Now, the recipe doesn't call for the flour to be sifted. It just says whisk. And with me, all-purpose flour sometimes has some bits of lumps and bumps. And so I like to just use my strainer here. This is the bowl we're going to use. And I thought we could do this together. I want to show you that baking is precise. Baking is precise. Wait a minute, I'm going to move this. I don't want you to get car sick. So baking is pretty precise. You want to make sure that when you're using dry ingredients, you want to make sure that you use these kind of measuring cups. For liquid, you use these. Okay, it's just a different. It's dry to wet. And you always want to make sure that you use the proper measuring, because unlike cooking, which is a dash of this and a pinch of that, and just chop up a handful and just, you know, do the Gordon thing. Baking is very precise. So this is going to be, I hate to say perfect, because nothing is perfect unless you're a Michelin star chef, which is no. So I want to do this as Christmas gifts for my clients. We talked about this in our last video. So I want to show you, you want to make sure it's really super easy. I'm going to just adjust this a little bit more. It's really super easy just to dip in. This is my canister that I keep the flour in. And you just want to just make sure that it's level. That's all you have to do, is just a little and a little. And there you go. That is perfect. The recipe is calling for 2 cups of flour. All right, here we go. We're going to just gently just sift it in. It's not complicated. You can use a tablespoon. Me, I like to use the whisk inside. It takes a few extra seconds, but I just feel like it already breaks it down, because we don't want to really sift. And then to this, we're going to be adding the measurements of the salt, baking powder, and baking soda, which we will do in here in just a second. The recipe is calling for 1 teaspoon baking powder, and then 1 teaspoon of the baking soda. Now, I label my stuff because I do use the baking soda for other things around the house, like cleaning the garbage disposal, things like that. You just want to make sure, and then tap it down in. Now, it's calling for a pinch of salt. That means we've got our dry ingredients, and we're just going to kind of whisk it around, make sure that it's all the way through. The wet ingredients that will be going into the butter and the sugar, just like regular old cookies. So I've creamed the butter. As you can see, I've creamed the butter. We are using regular sugar. We are, because this is Christmas gifts for my clients. This isn't a personal thing for my sugar. I have tried to position the camera so you can see it really well. Okay, we're going to just get it up to the lip. Just keep it simple. And we're going to just tap it out here. All right, we've mixed up the sugar. As you can see, it's still a little granular, but it says in the instructions not to overmix. So next we're going to add the egg. We're going to add the egg, which I did not beat up. I'm just going to add the egg, okay? And then we're going to add the vanilla next. And the vanilla is 2 teaspoons of vanilla. So he was very generous in the video. All right, so we've got a very good consistency with the egg and the vanilla. It looks real good. Now we're going to be mixing in the ricotta, and I had a heck of a time finding ricotta. I actually had to go to Trader Joe's. Safeway was out. Walmart doesn't carry ricotta at all. It carries mascarpone, but it doesn't carry that. So here we are with the Trader Joe's. Okay, so this is all the size they had. They were all out of their small 8 ounces. Again, it's the holidays, so everybody's, you know, jumped on it. I usually reserve this for liquids. So I'm going to be filling this up with the ricotta because that's what I saw him using in the video. So I'm going to assume it's okay, and we will wing it. I'm going to use my handy dandy butter knife here and mix it up a little bit because it is very liquidy. It is very liquidy, as you can see. It's like the consistency of sour cream. If you've never worked with ricotta before, is 8 ounces. And that's what we are looking for here, is 8 ounces. And I think this is going to be just, you want to go always just a hair above, because there's always a residue. And with baking, everything really needs to be precise. So it's better to have just a hint over, than to be a hint under. So let's get this in here, the ricotta. So we've done our mixing. Now he said not to over mix it because that just breaks the ricotta down. And I just want you to see what a great consistency and smoothness this is. Now we're going to add our flour. You just want to kind of take your time, and that way you aren't over mixing, because that breaks down your liquids. So this is going to be a cookie consistency. So we're going to mix this up. Once I'm all done, we'll talk about how we're going to put it on the cookie sheet. We're going to get the oven going, and once these are out and they're cooling, I'm going to make the lemon glaze, and it's super simple. It's just lemon and powdered sugar. And now I just want to show you, I've baked a batch, and I'll show you that in just a second. These are ready to go in the oven, and I didn't use any of the cookie scoop. I chilled it and then rolled them into balls. So it was just easier. The other ones were just a little too rustic, and I wanted them to be a little bit more refined, Wanted it to be that it isn't perfect. We aren't perfect. And things that we make, we want it to look like Under the Tuscan Sun when she made the big, huge, giant feast. Having a relationship with the food. And they say made with love. It's made with my heart because I'm making this as a gift. And I'm going to move the camera very slowly so you don't get car sick. And here's the ones that I have rolled. They were chilled and I rolled them. Now we're going to come over, never mind. As you can see, they're beautiful golden underneath. They got a beautiful spongy texture. See how it bounces? That's what you want with a ricotta cookie. You want it to bounce. I don't like to glaze them when they're warm. That's just me. I want the glaze to have a thick consistency to it. If they're too hot, it just runs, and then you have very little and you have a ton on the sides. These that I got. This came from the Dollar Tree, and this is what I'm going to be storing the cookies in. I'll be wrapping them up individual for my clients. I'll probably use some wax paper, but what a deal. What a deal for $1.25. I got 2 of them. But as you can see by the measurement of my finger. Sorry, I'm still not Spielberg yet. I'm working on it. but as you can see by my finger, it is very, very deep. So I got that, and I was really stupidly thrilled. And sorry, my sister was just calling. I'll call her right back. As you can see, these are really super wide, super deep. As you can see, it's got a truckload of room. So I got, I still have 3 of those, but look at these darling tins. The gnomes are huge. I'm a gnome person, love them to death. Love the Christmas tree farm, and look how thick they are. Look at this. I mean, you could put a small bundt cake in there. Yes, I have a miniature bundt pan. So, and then the snowman, isn't that cute? And then we've got the paper bags. These are what I was telling you about. You get three, 1, 2, 3. You get them for $1.25 for 3. Is this not fantastic? And this is what all the goodies that I made and purchased for my clients for their little gift bags. And I wanted to do something different. When I saw these, I debated on it. I walked around several times and finally came back to them. But these are your wood ornaments. Are these not fantastic? They're wood and they're blank. So you can write to somebody and put their name on it, or you can just write their name and the year and they can put it on their tree. So 4 for $1.25, and they've got all sorts of different kinds. I got kind of crazy. So I also got the snowflake ones. I've just loved them, but look, they got a ton of room on the back. And a black felt pen. Who cares? Use a red felt pen if you've got a red felt pen. Use paint. If you're really, really fancy, you can use paint on these. But as you can see how beautiful they are, and they give you a long, because they're Christmas ornaments, so they give you a really, really long handle on the back to hang or to tie to the packages. They're going to be tied to these brown bags. But I thought these were so out of the box. I had a wonderful conversation with my sister. She had back surgery a couple of months ago, and she just had her last follow-up appointment until next January, and everything is healing very, very well. Getting those discs fused, we're not kids anymore. So I want to show you that I'm doing the powdered sugar for the glazing. It's a 1.5 cups. Like I said, I'll leave you. But you always sift the powdered sugar because you've always got these little granules that just don't want to go away. So I'm going to finish this off. I've got my lemon juice all ready to go. It's right here. My sprinkles. I found these. It's a little box like that. I found it at the Dollar Tree of all places. They were loaded with all sorts of Christmas themed sprinkles and icing in the tube and all sorts of baking ideas for cookies in those big packages. So to me, this is it's so fun for the kids. It's user friendly, so you don't have to worry about, you know, getting 400 different things of ingredients. You just have to add the wet ingredients and mix it up, and it's just fine. Again, the baking police are not going to come and raid you. So I am going to put this down because it's going to be drizzly, but we're going to add some of this lemon juice, and we're just going to mix it up because we want a glazy consistency, and I'll show you that glazy consistency. I'll have some lemon juice left just in case the glaze. And if it's too thin, you can always add a couple of pinches of the powdered sugar. But you want to make sure that it's a really good consistency, and let's really get in there and beat it up. I think we got it the first time, which is a rarity for me. But we'll do the test here in just a second. If not, I can add a few drops of the lemon because that's the only flavoring besides the powdered sugar. Beautiful this glaze is. You want it on the thinner side. I might have gotten it just a touch too thin, But I think for what we'll need, we'll do a test cookie and let's see how it works. Now the kitchen is still warm, so the cookies are not completely chill. And let's just see how it works. Oh, now see, is that not beautiful? That's exactly what we want. We want it to stay. We don't want it to be, crazy and pouring all over everything. We want it to just be perfect in its glazing. We don't want it to go away. And yes, some of the cookies are a little larger than the other ones. Remember, I was cooking this in several batches. You didn't see me. So now we're going to just do the bits of sprinkles. Just a teeny bit. We don't want to overwhelm it. It's just for decoration. But I'm going to bring the camera over the top so you can see how beautiful they glazed. Turned out okay? I'm going to be putting them into one of those storage containers that I showed you earlier. And now I'm just going to get them into their containers so they stay fresh for my clients. Merry Christmas all, and I will see you next week. Next week is biscotte. We're doing almond biscotte with chocolate. You like me? See it? Please hit the thumbs up. It helps with my algorithm. I hope you like what you watched today. I hope that you subscribe. Please have a safe, fun week. I know we're Christmas shopping, so be safe when you're out driving around. All right, we'll see you next